Hey guys, it's Kyle. I'm gonna be doing a series of videos where I have no idea what I'm gonna title each one yet, but I'm just gonna do them kind of all back to back and upload them kind of in the same time period, uh, just because I don't know, kind of just want to do things and figure it out later. Um, I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about myself. I was born in Michigan, Portland, Michigan. Well, Lansing technically, but I lived in Portland. Um, Grew up on a small family farm, super conservative. Went to church with my grandparents every Sunday when I was a kid. When I wasn't with my dad's side of the family, I went to church with my mom and her boyfriend, husband. They were off and on a lot. Um, so I grew up really religious, and I would call it faux religious. Um, Most of the time, we only went to church, or it was only a big deal to go to church when it suited, my mom's um, needs. That sounds kind of in a weird spot there. Um, Same thing with my dad. He never went to church, but if there was anything that he didn't disagree or that he didn't, agree with, that he didn't like, then he used, the Bible and various other religious um, works to kind of back himself up. Um, so if you have, a super conservative family and, don't get along with them very well, you're definitely not alone. It's something a lot of people experience. Most of the guys that I talk to, um, all say the same thing, who grew up super religious, that you know, not only did they have to fight society, but coming home, was no reprieve for them. Uh, so that was kind of my deal. Um, Around the time I was 14, I was trying to figure out my feelings a little bit. I had a pen pal at the time, who I wrote to, and my dad kind of intercepted some of our letters, well, one of my letters, where I was trying to figure out my feelings, and I at the time I didn't, know what was going on really with myself, so um, my dad told everybody I was a lesbian, and that's what I went with because he was my dad. He had to have known better, but that wasn't quite the case. Um, Around the time I was 15, I was kicked out of his house. I moved in with my mom for a few months, and shortly after my 16th birthday, I think that summer, summertime, she kicked me out of her place too. So I put myself through the last little bit of high school, my last year. I bought and paid for my own truck. I kept up my own phone. It was a lot of work, but it is doable if you feel like you're in that kind of position. At 17, I enlisted in the military. I had to have my parents' permission, unfortunately. So that part really sucked because it took me longer to get them on board to sign for me than definitely than it should have, and it almost made it not worth it. But I'm definitely glad I went through with it because I wouldn't trade the experiences for anything. Uh, I did that for a while. Moved out of state, kind of cut ties with all of my family for about 2 years, for the most part. Then finally started getting back into my siblings' lives a little. And probably about my third year being out of state, my parents and other people in my family finally started getting on board and realizing that they wanted me in their lives, or at least occasionally wanted to check in on me. And for a long time, I didn't, I wasn't very willing to do that. It took a lot of forgiving on my part, a lot more than I really wanted to do. But it's still a work in progress. everything is, it takes time. For the most part, most of my family has kind of come around. Um, they do definitely still make a lot of mistakes. For most of them, because I don't really see my family that often, my mom or my dad's side, for most of them it is an honest mistake when they slip up. But for the people I see every day, yeah, I put in a little bit more effort. It's a struggle, especially my dad, because I deal with him the most, and he either is just unwilling to change, or he does have that old school. He should be like an 80-year-old man. That's his thought process. He's very old school, and not very funny. He's not a funny person. But at in 2014, gosh, I was like 21, 22 ish, 22. My military contract ended, and I was finally able to move home after a whole bunch of personal issues in 2015. I've been doing a lot of manual labor work since then. You know, it's what I grew up doing. It's what I'm good at. Construction, you know, has been my plan A and plan B forever. But I'm finally going back to school this year to change that a little bit. I'm going for business management, so I can actually work for myself and do all these things that I know how to do, but do the paperwork side so I can own it. And political science, so I can start making things a little bit better for everybody here in Michigan, especially the LGBT community, because I know things suck really bad. We don't have any of the basic protections that more states are getting on board with. And in terms of legal issues, it's not really the best place to be. But I'm hoping that I can, you know, start helping change things a little bit. You know, things won't get better unless somebody fixes it. And I definitely rely on, especially on Facebook, I rely a lot on the opinions and thoughts of people in all the groups that I follow. I post quite a bit asking for advice and opinions on things, because not only do I give advice and resources to other people, but sometimes I need advice. And I meet with various people all the time, whether it's local city leaders or state leaders, and now I'm starting to do it a little bit more on the state side and with other cities. So it's not just my opinions that I have to bring to these people, it's your guys's too. Because I'm not the only one in the state. So I need your guys' help on that stuff. I am going to probably be going more in depth on certain things. Definitely feel free to ask me questions if you want to know something. It'll give me something to talk about. If you have an idea or a story to share, share it. You know, other people might feel the same way. I might feel the same way or have a similar experience that I can touch on. Just let me know. Look me up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. I do have a helpline, I guess, my own number through TGMI that you can ask for or look up. It should be on any of the TGMI pages for the FTM coordinator. Mostly through Facebook, though. I will be around again. I don't know about tomorrow. I'll be driving a lot tomorrow, so if I'm in your city or whatnot, you see I'm around, just hit me up. Let me know I'm nearby or whatever. A couple people have already done that, so that's cool. Yeah, I will see you guys shortly.